Natalie McNeil is a regular at her local gastropub. For an easygoing vibe, live music, and elevated bistro food in Northern Liberties, look no further than Jerry's Bar.
I describe Jerry's Bar as, well, we like to say it's just a corner bar. We have a lot of regulars who come in all the time, but then we're also a nice date night spot, you know, a place that you can bring your family. We do an amazing brunch, so we're definitely dinner, but we're also like a big brunch spot. This has been a bar for like 100 years. We have photos of it in like 1920s, which looks so crazy. And then the owner, Bill Proud, who is a certified stonemason and he can do historical refurbishing, took the bar, completely gutted it, and the marble on the bar, the tiles, every little touch in Jerry's Bar is something historical. And then we do jazz on Sundays. That has been around since we opened. So the guys who play jazz here have been playing jazz here for 10 years. So we've had a lot of items on our menu that have been here since we opened, the Jerry's classics, but then we also switch our menu seasonally, which is exciting because, you know, you come in summer, there's going to be one menu, you come in winter, there's going to be all new items. So it keeps it fresh. Yeah, it's a bar where you can get a beer and some chicken wings, but it's a corner bar that you leave feeling like you're connected to the people here.
Natalie, Jerry's Bar is such a cool experience. Tell us why you picked it.
Part of the vibe, the food, and it's local neighborhood place where it's just fun all the time. You can go there if you just want something, brunch, lunch, dinner. You can take the family, you can go alone. It's been great.
And you like to start your meal with the hummus trio.
Every time. And usually if you're with people, so you get to share it. The hummus, of course, people have had hummus, but the beet hummus is amazing. And that's not something that you usually can get at most places. And I love it.
I am so glad that somebody at this table went for Sunday Jazz Brunch,
Yep.
which is when you went to Jerry's Bar.
Yeah.
How did you kick off your meal?
I started with a snap pea spritz, which is on their mocktail menu. I just had to try it as it sounded so bizarre. And the flavor of snap peas came through so wonderfully and added kind of a minerality and like a drying sensation to it. This really had the complex, structured taste of a cocktail and owed it all to the bizarre but brilliant inclusion of snap peas.
How did that mocktail pair with the jazz?
The whole vibe for Sunday brunch at Jerry's is amazing. There's a fresh rose at every table, and then they had just two people. It's just bass and guitar, but they were doing arrangements of like Stevie Wonder and Beatles tunes. They did something really fun about sitting there, sipping your coffee. I was out on the patio drinking they have La Colombe drip coffee, which is delicious. Yeah, really great atmosphere for brunch.
Daniel,
Yes.
you brought your family.
Did.
And you tried the vegan version of the gumbo.
Yeah.
How was it?
It was awesome. So when it comes out, all of the different components of the gumbo are divided up. So you've got, your rice here with some carrots and peas. You've got this really rich, thick broth over here. And then I think something that they do is really interesting is instead of trying to throw in like a mock andouille sausage, they have Brussels sprouts. Something that I've never seen in a gumbo before. And, I quickly mixed it up, and one of my favorite things about Jerry's was they give you free bread. So any place that gives me free bread automatically gets like an extra star. And so, I'm slopping up the gumbo with the bread, and it was just fantastic.
Natalie, you tried the grouper fish? Was this a special?
It was a special.
Oh, yeah. How was it?
It was delicious.
It was blackened grouper?
It was blackened grouper, but not overly blackened, because sometimes blackens can be really salty, but this wasn't too salty. The flavor was very good, a nice white fish inside, and it was served with a pureed sweet potato mash underneath, and then it had sauteed spinach and also butternut squash, chunks of butternut squash, and the flavors were the garlic and the oils and everything. Everything was done perfectly.
And did you pair that with a drink?
I did. I actually had the sangria, which has brandy, wine, and so sometimes the sangrias can be either too sweet or they can be kind of dull. This one had a nice blend of all of the different elements together, so it was very good.
And Daniel, I forgot to ask about your wife's Jerry's Berries cocktail. Was this a mocktail or a cocktail?
Yeah, so we both got mocktails. So my wife got the Jerry's Berries, which was ginger beer, sour cherry, and I forget, some type of berry as well.
And how was your blood orange spritz?
It was a very nice balance of sweet and sour.
Oh, was it a little bit effervescent?
Yes, it was.
With the spritz, it's like I want the bubbles that kind of like tickle your nose.
Exactly.
Dan, what did you get for brunch?
I got their breakfast sandwich, which comes on a Kismet bagel, never fails. And I love that one of the options for meat was pork roll. They know where they are. They know who's coming to eat.
That's a Jersey classic.
Yeah, it sure is.
Was like scrapple also an option? Because I feel like in Philly you need to have scrapple and pork roll.
I think it was. We'll have to check. And then that came with home fries. And I need to talk about these home fries because they're a feat of engineering and kitchen logistics. They're really thin quartered potatoes, almost like halfway between a classic home fry and a Saratoga chip. And then they toss them with the peppers and onions at the last second so the potatoes stay crispy.
Wow.
I need to try to imitate that at home, I think.
Absolutely. So did you need ketchup at all? Did
No.
you? Oh, goodness. What did your wife get?
My wife got the short rib cavatelli pasta. She loved it. She also really appreciated the bread. She made a little cavatelli pasta, sandwich of sorts.
Oh, I love carb on carbs.
Yeah, carb on. That's how she does it. Yes.
And what did you think of the ambiance of the restaurant?
I love the ambiance of the restaurant. So you walk in, you've got the bar there, beautiful wood, and then you kind of go around the corner and you're in this room. It's dark, but there's this huge window that pretty much takes up an entire wall. So a lot of natural light still getting in. Flora all around you, from just the side of the restaurant to even in the ceilings. They have these plants that are kind of dangling down, these tentacles of light. It's beautiful.
Natalie, have you tried dessert at Jerry's Bar?
I have. This was the first time I had the carrot cake. Oh, it had beautiful chunks of fruit throughout. It had a nice thick icing, and it was nice and moist.
Natalie, this is your pick. What do you think of the service?
The service was exceptional, especially this time when it went. Our waiter, she was phenomenal.
And Daniel, what were your thoughts? Because you had to talk to your server about both vegan dishes and then also dishes for a 4-year-old.
Yeah, I felt like the service was top-notch. They did a good job accommodating my dietary needs and did a good job also making sure that my son was leaving with a full belly.
And what did you think of the neighborhood?
So I think for me, one of the things that stood out to me was that it was kind of tucked away in a more residential area. However, still within walking distance to, all of like the nightlife that Northern Liberties has to offer.
Yeah, it's kind of tucked away and it's surprisingly quiet over there.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. What did you think of the Northern Liberties neighborhood?
I have to echo that idea that it's tucked away and quiet, and I actually noticed they, a few blocks up from it, they had a sign that said, "Jerry's is this way." I kind of wish they would take it down so that I could keep this secret and keep it quiet, but no, it seems like an if you know kind of place, even though that neighborhood I know is popular for dining.
Natalie, Jerry's Bar is your pick. Sum it up for us.
Great food, atmosphere nice, pricing is good. It could be a little bit hard to find, but it's definitely worth it when you do.
Dan, what's your big takeaway?
As the Check Please brunch correspondent, I can confirm that this is a really classy and classic place to get brunch on a Sunday.
Daniel, what are your final thoughts?
Yeah, it's a restaurant that's tucked away, but I feel like the food really stands out.
Cap off your day with a cocktail at Jerry's Bar, located at 129 West Laurel Street in Philadelphia, 267-273-1632. Reservations are accepted, and the average tab per person without drinks is $30.